When you think of affordable kitchen cabinets, what comes to mind? I know a lot of people think immediately Ikea kitchen cabinets is an inexpensive way to get a new kitchen at an affordable price, but what if I told you there was another way you can have a beautiful, highly functional kitchen for pennies on the dollar? Far less than Ikea. Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. If you know me, then you know that what I'm about to say is to buy secondhand cabinets, or not necessarily even cabinetry. Number one, you don't have to tear out your entire kitchen and demo every single kitchen cabinet in your kitchen to have a beautiful and functional and custom kitchen. And number two, where can you get some of these alternatives to expensive or big box store kitchens or Ikea kitchens? So let's get into it. First of all, you don't have to tear out all the cabinets in your kitchen. You can take them out, rearrange them, add in some new pieces, take out some that may not be functional or are old and rickety like I did, and then add in some secondhand ones and unify with the power of paint and trim molding to make them all look and feel cohesive. I am getting ready to embark on a kitchen refresh myself, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to record this video, is because I redid this kitchen kind of in stages, a little bit at a time. The first thing I did in this kitchen, you can see the bulkhead here, which cuts off oddly right here. Well, when we bought this house, there were louvered doors right here that went across to that wall. Behind the louvered doors, there was a sink and an empty spot where the fridge is. There wasn't anything there. And then there was a huge, ginormous hot water heater just sitting here out in the open. So that was the first thing I did, is I took down those doors, got rid of the hot water heater, moved my fridge from over there and put it in this space. And then I brought this cabinet from my daughter's bedroom. It didn't work there. It made this small alcove in her room, and without that cabinet, it was big enough to put a twin-size bed in there. I brought that cabinet out here and installed it in this location. They were just flat panel doors, and I trimmed them out with a piece of flat stock trim molding and then a tiny piece of this little pencil molding on the inside in order to match these cabinets here I bought at Habitat for Humanity. There was a time when I just had this and my countertop ran all the way into the corner, and that corner was just basically unused space. I kept some books styled up there on a shelf, but it was unused space. So I happened upon these cabinets at the Habitat for Humanity. I had been wanting a corner cabinet this style where you could open up the cabinet door like this. I wanted it to be open all the way into the corner like this so that I could use this as a pantry cabinet. This was my dream corner cabinet here. It's the same way on the bottom and to the top. And I got these at the Habitat for Humanity. This cabinet, the corner unit, was $84, and then this unit was also $84. And so that is why I trimmed out these cabinets to match those cabinets, so that they would look the same, and then painted them all the same color to unify the look. Trimmed them out with matching crown molding all the way across the whole thing, and even painted my refrigerator. I think it unifies the kitchen pretty well. It's a good look for a very inexpensive price. I bought some crown molding and and then paint. And honestly, I bought the paint from the Oops department at the Home Depot. I happened upon it one day, and my cabinets were already painted such a similar color that when I happened upon this 2 gallons of the enamel cabinet paint at Home Depot in the Oops department, when I looked at it, I was like, that is almost the exact color of my current kitchen cabinets. So I picked those up, and I think I got each gallon for $9 or $11, whatever the Oops paint is. And I was able to give all of my cabinets a fresh coat of paint, and it was almost the same. One of the things that you might wonder about when you are piecing together a kitchen with used kitchen cabinets from either Habitat for Humanity or Facebook Marketplace or garage sales. Those are places that you can buy kitchen cabinets for a fraction of what you would pay retail. But one of the things that can be difficult when you're buying used or secondhand or whatever is not having the exact dimensions of your kitchen. And I want to show you a couple ways that you can remedy that. And one of the ways is I just built this tiny little wine rack, or sometimes we put our extra drinks on it, and it just took up 12 inches of space that I didn't have any unit for, so I just created that, popped it in there, and it works perfectly. Another solution for a tiny little space that you have basically left over, you could just build a box here and utilize this for storing cookie sheets or muffin pans or large platters or anything like that. Or, I mean, if it's a tiny space or even this size, you could just close it up. You could just put a fake front on there and call it a day, something simple. So that's a real easy way to make non-custom cabinets fit your kitchen, is doing something like this. You could even do something even simpler than any of those solutions, and that is you could just use a tiny little tension rod here and hang some gathered fabric there. And you could utilize that for like a little broom closet. Another way to really unify your space is by using the same hardware on all your cabinets. So if you can't do the trim molding and you can only just paint everything and your cabinet faces are not exactly the same, having the hardware all the same really does wonders for making things look cohesive. So I'm going to show you one really, really inexpensive way to have some kitchen cabinets that are highly functional. I got these for free. My filing cabinet drawers. The lighting in here is really tough with the window, but anyway, basically this whole run of cabinets. So my refrigerator was right here. And then from the refrigerator all the way down to the corner, essentially, there were no lower cabinets at all. So I built that cabinet. There were only these drawers across, and then everything underneath was empty and they were just legs. I had these two file cabinets. They were sitting in my driveway and I was about to take them to the dump, and then it occurred to me I could reuse those for kitchen cabinets. So that's exactly what I did. I brought them in and I trimmed them out. I used that same flat stock molding, and then in between the flat stock molding to cover up the metal, because they had those metal holes. So I used a piece of 1/4 inch underlayment plywood and put that in between the edges of the molding, and then I installed brass drawer pulls like the rest of them. So I have a double drawer file cabinet here and one right beside it here. And these things hold so much weight. These things are heavy laden with bowls and plates. So heavy. I don't think a regular cabinet would hold this much weight. They just roll in and out so nice and easily. I'm gonna be sad to get rid of these cabinets because they're huge and they hold so much weight. So we'll see. I don't know. When I redo my kitchen, I'm not sure. I am not gonna have space for these, because my stove is going to come from my island and go here when I put in new windows anyways. So that is definitely something to think about. I don't know too many people that would put filing cabinets in their kitchen, but I have absolutely adored these. They don't look super great and custom and high-end, but they function so extremely, extremely well. Okay, so my kitchen island is another piece that I created from Habitat for Humanity cabinets. I bought these 2 drawer banks from Habitat for Humanity. They're matching, exactly the same on each side. And then I used a 4x4 on this end and created, connected that to the cabinets and then wrapped it with kind of a shiplap look and created this kitchen island with seating on this side. I think I paid like $67 or something crazy cheap like that. It might have even been cheaper. It's been such a long time since I made the kitchen island. The seating on this side, and that's the way the island looks from over here. And then my floating shelves for all my glasses and my floating shelf over there for random stuff. I created those out of hollow core door that I picked up at a garage sale. I think I might have gotten that hollow core door for free, and then cut it down to be 9 inches deep and attached it to the wall using a cleat. It's really an inexpensive way to make a floating shelf for next to nothing, and they're super, super sturdy. Those are some of the very inexpensive ways that I have put together my kitchen to create a very functional and pretty attractive kitchen, in my opinion. I love my kitchen. I have had many, many, many successful gatherings of my family and friends here, and it has just worked beautifully. I am getting ready to put in some new windows and move my stove to the other side of my kitchen. It's going to be right here, and I'm going to create a new vent hood system here that'll be the focal point of my kitchen with 2 tall windows flanking each side. I'm going to rip out this bulkhead. I have created a new kitchen island, which I'll give you a sneak peek of that. If you're curious about all the updates I'm getting ready to do in my kitchen, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload my latest kitchen renovation videos.